Hi guys, it's been well over 6 months that I haven't, well, more than 6 months I haven't posted anything. I started my YouTube channel and now I'm resuming again. So, I've come out, I've dug in some manure in some places of the garden. Looks a bit of a mess, but here are my winter kale that I planted. I think it was the end of October, beginning November. I'm moving them now because I want all my vegetables in the bed over the other side of the arch, and then I can dig this over or rake it at least and put some new things in. I think I'll do all my beetroots in here. So these, I've moved one already, one of my kales. They're looking good. They were covered. But yeah, they survived the winter. This is the first time I've done winter veg. Bought them in advance. Some have been eaten. Some of my cabbages have been eaten. Do you know what? I don't mind sharing with nature. But here goes. I'm going to tidy this all up so it's empty. And yeah, this is my garlic I planted last year. And my shallots over there in the second bed. I didn't remember that I bought some red onions, so they're going to go in the ground over here. I've put my little stick there to start a line of where they're going to be positioned, so I've got a little walkway in between. Yes, I need a walkway in between so that I can reach. Might put some cardboard down there. Yeah, so this is my winter garlic, what I planted in winter. Hopefully I'll get it. Well, it's not really winter garlic, it's garlic. I planted it in the winter. They like a cold season, so they do well during the frosty time and everything. But yeah, they were growing too fast because the climate change, the weather was quite mild. It was cold 1 minute and then warm 1 minute. So yeah, it's been a real freaky weather from end of October onwards. Now I'm going to try and get these onions in. This is around about the time I would have done it in springtime, but I thought I'd get ahead of myself and save some time so I could spend time sorting out the rest of the garden. But yeah, got all my spinach all dried up. Normally they'll spring up in a couple of months. Some of the new seeds will spring up all over the garden. But yeah, I might take these out and yep, I've erected arches. I've decided that I'm going to have all the things that are not growing on the floor, not spreading on the floor, have them growing over the arches. So I'm about to apply some mesh. I bought a roll of strong plastic mesh. So that's going to be cut to the width of the framework. And I'm going to have my cucumbers and my butternut squash growing over the frame this year. Yep, that's what I've decided. So it saves all the ground area. And in between my onions, I'm going to plant corn. That's the plan anyway. Yep, that's the plan. Just been weeding out some of the areas. Because as soon as spring really kicks in, that's when you know the weeds are going to spring up. They're going to flourish, so you know that the soil is really good. Yeah, most of my winter veg I planted along my side borders. And I'm going to shift them over there to this plot. This was some beetroots I planted late autumn. We'll just leave them there. That was my little raised bed using a plant pallet. Yeah, so here is where I'm going to shift my kale. I've moved the cauliflower and cabbages over to here. I had some of them in those raised wooden planters at the other side. I had some lettuces. I took a risk and planted them. They're not winter lettuces, but I had a go. You don't know. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. These are broccoli. Now, how well they're going to do, I don't really know, so I'll just watch and see. But I can see the purple sprouting. Yeah, the leaves have been eaten. I found a couple of caterpillars under the soil. So, yeah, what's left of my cabbages or broccoli. I'm just leaving them in the ground. I've put some manure in around the plant and we'll just watch and see. This beauty here, she was in a pot sitting on my decking These were the extra winter veg that I had left over because I bought them from a garden centre online. So it just shows you the difference, grown in a plot and grown in the ground. Yeah, she's done well. So I might do that again next year if I've got enough pots. This is my scallion, spring onion as we call it. It's got two names. It's actually got seeds at the tips, so I'm excited. I actually brought these back from Rotterdam. Look at this. It's got like a purple reddish colour one side and the other side. So in there are seeds. Yay, I might collect them. So they've actually run to seed, but it doesn't say that the rest of it isn't edible. I'll still chop it. I brought them back little stems with the roots on, and they've grown up, fully grown. And I keep cutting it and using it for my cooking. This is my chives. I dug up out of the ground and stuck them in a pot, so they're starting to emerge again. Over here I've got manure in the soil, and I'm going to put a run of potatoes. They've all sprouted, so anything that sprouts in my kitchen goes back into the ground. And here I'm going to start off some lettuces and other edibles, other stuff to eat. Can't wait, I'm just waiting for the nice warm weather. Yeah, these lettuces I started off, when did I start them? The 12th of the 11th, I think. Or was it the 12th of the 12th? Can't even read my writing. 12th of the 3rd, 20. Nah, that can't be right. Yeah, I did plant them and thought, well, if I cover it, which I did have them covered with white mesh for a while, and then with the heavy winds up in Bedfordshire blew it off. But they still look healthy. Put some in the ground just to see whether they're going to make it, whether they're going to get bigger now, because the weather is warming up a little. It's not so warm today though. But yeah, they are still alive. I'm quite impressed. So that's something I can continue. They're Webb's lettuce. And a couple I've stuck down this end. I'm sort of spreading them out, giving them their growing space so they can get fatter. There's some spinach that seeded and came all the way from one end of the garden to this end. So I'll just nurture this, just weed out in between, and I can start picking spinach leaves and making my spinach pakoras again. Love it. This arch here is going to go over that side where I grew cucumbers up a trellis I made. Well, if you can call it a trellis. It was supposed to be going across the top of the space above the concrete posts, and I just stuck it up against the fence. I've never got round to finishing them. I do what I can in between my busy schedule. I stuck some garlic over here last year, and I've still got 3. I think it's red cabbage. I'm not even sure. There was 3 plants in a pot somewhere, and I've just stuck them in the ground. And this is a cabbage. Can't remember what it's called, Moody or something. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. But yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. This is my winter veg patch now. And yeah, I should be able to, if they successfully grow, start picking around August, September, hopefully. Yeah, this is cauliflower on this end. That was in my side borders. And I've experimented many moons ago when I had an allotment. I was told if you cut off, not too low, if you cut off your cabbage and make a score in the top, you'll get another crop of cabbage. Well, I've scored it like a hot cross bun, made the cross, and look at this. Yeah, I've eaten, this was a white cabbage, which I love growing to make coleslaw. So with scoring it, it's rooted on the sides. So I'm just going to watch and see how that goes. So I've left that in the ground as an experiment. The rest I've pulled out. I might replant them on the side borders. But I need the space for these lovelies to continue growing. Yep, this is cauliflower. Hopefully I'll get some cauliflower this year. Last year it all opened up and I did peg them together, but it wasn't very successful. But try again. Some garlic I planted in pots, had them on the decking. So I'm going to find somewhere for them in the ground. Like I did last year, I'm going to put them out. I had loads of garlic. So I decided to just give them a chance, because I don't want them to dry up and then have to go back in the recycle bin. So that's me. That's the start of it. I love this time of year when you can see the buds on the apple trees. I'm really excited. Look at this. Look at this. I just hope I get some apples this year. I made apple cider vinegar last year, so I'm going to make a few jars of those. I've been saving jars, so I'm going to make a few jars of apple cider vinegar, make my own. Some apples drop and I've just cut off the bad bits and sliced up and put them in using a recipe from Pinterest. Pinterest is fabulous. Explore so many ideas. Yep, I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, that's my little beginning of my garden journey again now for 2021. As for my olive tree, look at this. One of them was barren last year. It had probably a couple of leaves on the tip, and just by adding some grass cuttings to it and watering it, it came back. I thought it was dying, but yeah, I'm scared to put it in the ground because I just think, you know, it's warmer in the pot. So I'm adamant about putting it in the ground. I just use the ground to grow my vegetables. We've got enough in with my apple trees that I have to maintain, and the other patio pear tree and the patio cherry tree, I can manage that. But these ones, I think they're better off in the pot, unless I get bigger pots. Got a couple of clay pots I might transfer them to, but they seem really happy. Yeah, I just needed to trim off and get the weeds out, and they came back. I used to have them at the foot of the decking, so it was kind of sheltered, so it wasn't getting enough what's happening here, it wasn't getting enough rainwater, so I've stuck them out in the garden, and I've left them out, to be fair. I didn't mean to, but they seem to have thrived. So there you go, they're happy. They are happy. This is a massive bay tree in my neighbour's garden. I sometimes collect the leaves, wash them, dry them, and I use it in my meat dishes. My mum always used bay leaves, and they're very medicinal. I've been reading up about it. It's really good, actually. But yeah, I need to use it more. Yeah, they're starting to bud, and they're going to make a right mess. But hey, I don't have to ever buy bay leaf. I've got my own bay leaf tree, a few of them in the garden, small ones, that were thrown out, but I've revived them and looking after them. This was the first bay tree I ever had. I bought it when it was this high. Now look at it in this pot. It's really pot bound. It could do better. But again, looking at that tall bay tree, I don't want to have a tree that big, to be fair. But yeah, it's been lovely getting back online, talking about my garden journey. And here goes for a successful crop this year. Thank you for watching.